The video review for Arrival has just arrived. Hey everybody, welcome to MaffmanJones Movie Reviews. I'm your host, John Maffio, and today's featured movie is Arrival. It's arrived right now, in this moment, just now, right now. Yes, not then, not there, now. It's directed by the same man who directed Prisoners, Sicario, and the upcoming Blade Runner 2049. The story revolves around Amy Adams' character, who is a linguist, she's a professor, and she has a pretty tragic past. She is recruited by the government and a man who is basically played by Forrest Whitaker to go seek out and find out why these Temple Stone alien ships have arrived in 12 different areas across the world, including Montana, which is where Amy Adams' character goes. Are these aliens aggressive? Are they friendly? Do they need help, or do they want to make a trade with us? It's Amy Adams' job to basically decode and decipher the language of the aliens to basically communicate with them, along with Jeremy Renner. But there's also some really dense stuff going on, plot-wise, that I can't get into in this review because this movie has a lot going on. A lot! What's the deal with the Denis Villeneuve movies? They have so much going on! I can't tell you flat out that I loved Arrival. I was really excited to see this movie, based on critical reception and things I've heard from friends. I went into it really excited. I got out of it, and I was like, that was a really intriguing premise that was executed really well, and it had a lot going on. Everybody did a good job in it, but, like, it was missing something, I guess. I don't know, so maybe something didn't really hit me. On my car ride home, 15 minutes on my way back home, it hit me. Like, my biggest question about the movie, that I was like, they never answered that question. It hit me that that question was answered, just not, like, it wasn't, like, done in a way where you know, understand it in that moment, because the movie is so subtle the entire time. But when I realized it in the car, in that moment, I actually screamed out loud alone in my car, "Whoa!" And I do not ever do that. Ever. But as I mentioned just now before, Arrival is a very subdued film. It's got a lot of subtlety in it. It's made with the purpose of basically showing the whole world uniting to solve this issue, or not really issue, of just solving the question of why. What are these things? Why are they here? What can we do to resolve what's going on here? The performances are really good in this movie. Amy Adams is the one who stands out. She has a very minimalistic performance in this movie, but when she shows emotion, it feels raw, it feels real, and you could definitely feel her as a real person going through this experience that she never thought she would go through. And there's a whole revolving plot arc that revolves around her character, and when you realize what's going on with her character, you don't really get the full scope of the story and her arc until the movie's over, and when you think about it afterwards. When you understand everything going on with her character and her surroundings, the aliens, Jeremy Renner, the Forrest Whitaker, the entire story, everything on Earth, it hits you. For a lot of people, the entire plot of Arrival is going to go over the heads like, woof! You have to really pay attention to this movie. If you're not in the mood to really get invested from beginning to end and get involved in the finer nuances and details, then don't watch this movie. But if you're in for something that's subtle and has a slow burn and takes its time to tell its story, and you want to get into a movie that's really gonna bust your balls when it's over, or when you think about it 20, 30 a day, a month later, this is for you. The direction of this movie is superb. It's got some of the best directing, some of the best direction, and some of the best editing I've seen all year. The cinematography, whoa! Something I can talk about, the actual aliens and their ships. Well, especially the ships. You've seen them in the trailers or on the poster. They're like very giant stones, and they look primitive. And it's really cool seeing these floating stones juxtaposed with earthly environments. You really feel the size and scale of these things. And everything from an aesthetic standpoint was incredibly inspired, and I was really appreciative of what they went through with the direction of the aesthetics for this movie. Everything felt grounded, the way the performances are, the way the story progresses, the way we would react to this problem. If aliens really came down to Earth and they just didn't do anything and we had to figure out their language and figure out what they were doing, this would probably be the way it would go down. I could definitely believe that. But everything just felt realistic, and I really appreciated that it felt grounded the whole way through. Even though the sci-fi and the fantasy elements of the story were very out there, it felt grounded within the story, if that makes any sense. The more I think about Arrival, the more I like it. Did I flat out love it? No, I didn't walk out of the theater feeling like alive like I did when I saw Whiplash, for example. But this is a movie that I could see myself really, really loving down the road, years from now, when people have really gotten exposure to this movie and really understand what it's saying and what it's trying to tell as a story, and also from a social commentary perspective too. It has a lot more social commentary than people might give it credit for, due to its timing and due to the nature of the actual story, in my opinion. But this is a movie that's very relevant to the times. It's got really good performances all around, but Amy Adams is a standout. It's visually outstanding. The story is one of the best sci-fi stories in recent memory. Denis, I'm saying his first name because I know his first name, not his last name, but Denis is one of the best directors out there right now. If you've seen Prisoners, if you've seen Sicario, you know, or Enemy, you know he's capable of telling a story. And this again shows that he could take a mainstream blockbuster idea, aliens coming to Earth, and making it a really grounded, resonant story that will relate to a lot of people, and it will become a very revered movie in the future, I believe. Arrival is a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's mafiously darn good. But now I want to know from you guys. If you've seen Arrival, don't spoil in the comments. But if you've seen the movie, let me know what you thought about the whole movie in ways that aren't spoilery. Or if you do, just, make a warning in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this review, please like, subscribe, and check out my social medias in the info box. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and I'll see you guys next time.